All right, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh. Bahasham Yahweh Shah, Bahasham Rachakodash, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the whole elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, whomever you may be, wherever you may be. Shalom, Yahshua, Shalom. All right, we're going to get into this. I mentioned this the other day. I really didn't want to get into it. I watched most of it. It's not. Probably won't watch all of it, because not everything is worth even sitting and listening to. But there's a couple good things that we could just point out here at least, because these are just the normal talks of the society that Esau wants to set up. So I just go and play the video from the beginning.
The World Economic Forum has urged world governments to begin euthanizing pets owned by citizens with low social credit scores, all under the guise of fighting climate change. The official reason? To reduce the so-called carbon paw print, as cities move toward tightly controlled 15-minute living zones where no pets will be allowed. Millions of people around the world reacted with horror last week at the state-sponsored euthanization of Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon. But there's more to this story. According to a whistleblower inside the WEF, this agenda goes far deeper than environmental goals. The real purpose is not about climate change at all. It's a calculated step in a conspiracy to strip humanity of anything that brings joy, companionship, or comfort.
Yeah, we know that. Okay. Which is not really the elites per se. It's just the Lord moving on the left-hand side to take away a lot of comfort from these people out here, especially the women. And this right here, as ridiculous as the situation is, it just goes to show you, because there's going to be, we probably won't list those two people. There's two people, this man and this woman, and the lady was crying. But as stupid as a situation like this is, because they're talking about the squirrel or whatever got euthanized and sobbing over it, it shows you how easily American people can be hit in their emotional side, all right? How easily the so-called elite can tap into the Americans people's emotions and use that to trigger, certain reactions or certain, responses, or, have a certain feeling bring forth. And they utilize that, right? But something as simple as this shows you how easy it is for them to tap into the American people's emotions, man. Okay?
Could this scheme be part of an even darker attempt to control the human spirit? Before we dive in, CNN, always at the forefront of pushing the globalist agenda, has begun urging its audience to starve their pets to death in an effort to combat climate change. CNN published an article entitled, "Our Pets Are Part of the Climate Problem. These tips can help you minimize their carbon paw prints." Let's stop right there. Our pets are not the problem. CNN, you are the problem. In an article, the liberal sadists argue that the meat-heavy diets enjoyed by household pets is causing planet-warming gases to be released into the atmosphere. Your kitty cat and Pooch, CNN explains, are going to have to eat bugs just like you.
Yeah, because of course we already know carbon footprint dealing with the people, which that's nonsense. They got talks about the cow farts are a problem. That's nonsense. And now you're talking about a carbon paw print, and it's just more nonsense. But what it is just clever ways to introduce their agendas to the world, which without actually telling you what the agenda is. All right, they'll come up with deforestation for this reason, when really it's for another reason. All right, they'll come up with a depopulation for whatever reason. Well, actually, that's kind of straightforward, but you get my point, though. They'll come up with this, named agenda, right? Which is just, a false title given to a plan that they're rolling out. So they're rolling out what they're rolling out, but they're under false pretenses, so to speak.
Assuming Klaus Schwab allows you to keep them at all in the future. Bloomberg, another mouthpiece of the globalist elite, jumped on the bandwagon at the same time, urging pet owners to euthanize their pets to help them survive in Biden's economy. Hollywood celebrity Emma Thompson has gone even further, telling pet owners to eat their own pets to survive the so-called climate crisis.
along with an increase in the frequency and intensity of extremes. Better wrap up warm, stockpile food, and remember that there's a surprising amount of protein in the average household pet. Looking ahead, we're on course to sail past our 1.5 degree centigrade target, putting us on track for long-lasting and irreversible change.
Now, the Democrats have announced plans to introduce an expensive pet tax for citizens who refuse to euthanize their healthy pets as part of the WEF's net zero agenda. The proposed policy has sparked intense outrage among animal rights organizations and pet owners alike, who argue it's both unethical and unwarranted. Many fear that the real-world impact of this policy will be devastating and will lead to widespread suffering and loss for millions of pet-loving households worldwide. Spread the word about Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon, two beloved pets, whose story shows the disturbing reality of the globalist policy overreach. New York authorities raided a man's home, confiscated his cherished animals, and killed them in cold blood. Let everyone know, this is what the war against pets looks like in real life.
We just learned that they have euthanized Peanut.
And the raccoon as well.
And the raccoon as well. I am so sorry. This must be really difficult for you.
It not only tears my family apart, but Peanut was the cornerstone of our nonprofit animal rescue. And 10 to 12 DEC officers raided my house as if I was a drug dealer. I was sat outside my house for 5 hours. I had to get a police escort to my bathroom. I wasn't even allowed to feed my rescue horses breakfast or lunch. I was sat there like a criminal. After they interrogated my wife to check out her immigration status, then proceeded to ask me if I had cameras in my house, then proceeded to go through every cabinet, nook, and cranny of my house for a squirrel and a raccoon.
They got a search warrant?
They got a search warrant. 4 departments and a judge signed off on a search warrant for a squirrel and a raccoon. And then they took them and killed them.
Why did they go through all that to get a search warrant for an animal that had been with you very safely, and the world witnessed this for 7 years? Why now suddenly did they show up with a search warrant and take these animals?
We haven't a clue. We don't know who made the comment.
TMZ is hilarious. He's trying to say, well, what did you do, buddy? That's basically what he want to say. What did you do, buddy, to make him come? All right, what happened, buddy? Man, I don't think I want to watch any more of this. I don't know where the next jump point. I do know where a particular point is, but I don't know what's after this, because I know he usually has a promotional video. I guess I'll let it play.
The complaints? Again, Peanut was an indoor squirrel, not harming anybody. He's been with us for 7 years. Not a single complaint was ever filed for this animal. We had him for 7.5 years. He became the world's most famous squirrel. We weren't hiding him by any means. He was all over TikTok. He became the first squirrel on TikTok to ever hit 1 million followers. He did every news station around the world.
Let's just keep going. I don't hear that.
Have your best interests at heart. Think again.
Yeah.
Under Biden, the price of medicine in America.
Jump around
Campaigns
a little bit.
means
Bam, right there.
of this fantastic offer. If you've been paying attention to the WF's policies in recent times, you'll realise that this is not really about saving the world. WF policies all have one thing in common. They dehumanise, degrade and mock us. They are designed to take away all of the joys of life and inflict maximum pain. The campaign to force humanity to give up meat and subsist on bugs and crickets is a good example. A WF insider actually...
This is WF Insider reveals a bug eating agenda is about destroying the human soul. I don't know about all that, but maybe mentally, okay? I mean, they view you as slaves, even their own people included, okay? They view everybody who are not of their class as slaves, and slaves don't usually have the best of treatments now, do they? Okay? All you need to do is at least keep the slave alive and strengthened to a certain point. But they don't even want you working. Because I believe in this video they talk about, I believe that Novel Harari, whatever the dude's name is, okay? But he was talking about, I believe it's like AI, something like that, and getting smarter or whatever. It's going to come to play it. I believe it's not too long after this. Let me play the video.
created is about crushing the human soul. Why should the peasants be allowed pet companionship in the looming dystopia as a way to cope with the soul-sucking hopelessness and alienation? That's what ineffective and potentially harmful psychiatric antidepressants are for, silly. The Roman Empire had bread and circuses. Klaus Schwab's hero Karl Marx said, religion was the opium of the people. But today's elites have hit upon a deadly formula to keep the permanent underclass happy: video games and drugs.
Now we see the creation of a new massive class of useless people. As computers become better and better in more and more fields, there is a distinct possibility that computers will outperform us in most tasks and will make humans redundant. And then the big political and economic question of the 21st century will be, what do we need humans for? Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have
Yeah, and that's what they want. They want to make you obsolete. All right. That number that they're gonna say is useful. We have no idea what they want them to be doing or whatever. But they know they want majority of the population of the earth to be living in these 15-minute cities, operating under their social credit score, living off of UBI, chipped up with all kinds of, devices, like it says in 2 Corinthians, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, lest he should get an advantage of us. And a lot of people are going to fall right into his traps because these things offered to them are convenient. Then there are going to be other people going to fall into the trap because the Spirit of the Lord is not dealing with them. All right, they're just going to be weakened by all the pressure that's put upon them. Okay, and all the things that they're going through in their daily lives, the chaos around them, and they're just going to weaken, and just want a way out, especially the women. They're just going to look for protection. Though they thought they didn't need a man, they're going to be looking for protection, and they're going to be looking for a way out. And they're going to take the easy way out, which is going to be through Esau. And they're going to make Esau their power at that time. All right, supposedly, allegedly, right? Because he's not a god, he's not a power at all. Okay, but given the circumstances, that is the best way to word it, as in what they would choose if they choose E. All right, stating from Revelation chapter 13, 16, 17, 18. All right, the device, man. If you take any of his devices, you've now made him so-called your God, all right? And it talks about him wanting to play God in, few verses, okay, in different chapters. Isaiah 14, 2 Thessalonians 2, right off that I can think of. I believe there's another one in Jeremiah 51, if I'm correct. I think we read it the other day. But that's the ultimate goal, man. It's not about everybody. It's not even about all their people. They don't even care about their own people, the Edomites, man. It's just about them. Okay, as long as they're doing whatever and they have watch over the whole entire earth, okay, that's Esau getting his fulfillment of playing the Most High. And that's only going to go but so far, because the Lord says when he's about to fill his belly, all right, and the jig is going to be up, okay, because the devil is going to come down with great wrath, and he has to, in order for the Lord to lift up the standard. And eventually, because he's going to get the 2/3 and he's going to get the heathens, but he will not get the elect. It's not possible to get the elect, all right? If so possible, he would deceive the very elect, but he can't, all right? Because it's already written in those individual stories to overcome whatever is thrown at them. So he's never truly going to achieve his agenda, and furthermore, it's going to get stopped in its tracks, man. So that their hands cannot perform the enterprise, like the scriptures say, all right? And this dude here, as we talk about, the AR, XR, and the VR technology, that's what they want you doing, living in 15-minute cities. Your life is, that of a minimalist, okay? If you're feeling too terrible, too bad, too sad, or whatever the case may be, worried, unhappy, whatever the case, just jack into this little matrix, into this virtual world and create this world around you, all right? The world that you envision, and the friends that you envision, the life that you envision, and it's not real. And that's why in that Matrix movie, there are a lot of individuals that didn't want to wake up to the truth, okay? They want to stay in the Matrix because the Matrix made them happy, versus knowing what was going on in the real world and seeing just how crappy it was, all right? They chose a false reality over the real one, okay? But, and you can equate that to us today. That's why Yahweh Shah, it was put in the scriptures. It says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. See, that world where, we want to be this, we want to be that, we want to get money and get maybe famous or a career or business or whatever the case the avenue was that you were following. All right. Those things were okay when you were in the world. But then when you learn the truth, you realize, man, this world is it needs to be destroyed. Okay. Because where we're living at, you realize you're in captivity and so on and so forth, man. You wake up to the real world, and the real world is the exact opposite of, the false goody good world like in the Matrix. Okay. And so that's what the truth does. It wakes you up to this real world. That's why the scriptures talk about being you talk about eating the roll and stuff and being in your mouth as sweet as honey, but in your belly bitter. All right, because it's sweet. It's good to know the truth. All right, you should know the truth, and truth should make you free. But it becomes bitter because you realize where you are. All right, how much you need. You need help from the Most High Power. Then furthermore, you learn that you're an Israelite, and you're in a situation because you turned against the Lord. It just makes it worse. All right. And so you increase your sorrows, and the more you know, the more you learn. All right, it's like, man, we got to get out of here because this life here ain't it. We need Yahushua. All right, we're yet to stand in our captivity and still subject to payments, man. And we need to get out of here. But you got, these devils, and they're just doing their part, all right? They're playing their role perfectly, all right, as the villain in the story. And they're doing what they're supposed to do.
An answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have,
I know what he said there.
and then the big political and economic question of the 21st century will be, what do we need humans for? Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with drugs and computer games.
Yeah, you will eat the bugs and you will be happy. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Okay? And a big part of that depopulation agenda is going to be the many that are put to death by the chaos, the many that are put to death by the wars, and the many that are put to death in the FEMA camps by, I don't know, a torture chamber, firing squad, a guillotine, whatever the case may be. We know the scriptures directly speak about being beheaded. All right, that is the guillotine. Okay, so, and it's not going to take much to knock people down, man, because all you got to do is have a couple, strong guard, big beefy guys, right? The two big beefy dudes, grab an individual, put them down, lock them in, okay, and then another third guy hitting an electrical switch to drop the thing, hitting another button to pull it back up. They grab the body, the head drop into whatever, okay, maybe some chamber in the floor where you collect all the heads, I don't know, okay. They grab the body, throw it to the side, okay, and, maybe at least 4 guys, 5 guys in particular, because one guy operating the machine electronically. Then you got 2 guys and 2 guys rotating. So that way there's no wait time, all right? The 2 guys put one down, okay, head comes off, 2 guys drag them off, then another 2 guys could bring another guy. And by the time those 2 guys did the same thing as the first guys have looped back around. So this could be ran by a 5-man team. Thousands of people knocked off, right, in the course of a day, in a matter of a short period of time, okay, just by a 5-man team, all right. But I'm just thinking. I'm not saying this is exactly how it's going to be, or even how it's going to be run. I'm just just thinking out loud, okay. I'm just saying how easy it is to utilize that. All right, especially if the guillotine is fashioned electronically, utilize that with a handful of men. And they have, pretty sure, way more than 30,000. The last count was at least 30,000, but I'm pretty sure they're way past 30,000 by now. So you get, however many, I don't know, wherever all the FEMA camps are, okay? So that means you have multiple chambers or whatever, multiple guillotines in just a single FEMA camp, each run by a 5-man team all over each zone, man. You're going to get hundreds of thousands, all right, of people dropping in a single day, man. Hundreds of thousands, okay? Maybe even close to 1 million people dropping in one day just by operating 5-man teams individually in each camp. So, anyways, let me just continue the video.
Make no mistake, the global elite wants us drugged and in a stupor. Then there is the depopulation drive, which was conspiracy theory for a long time, but is now completely out in the open. They aren't even trying to keep it a secret anymore. According to these two WF ghouls, all religious groups are opposed to the World Economic Forum because religions want more souls and the WF wants less souls on the planet.
So in the session we just attended here at the Economic Forum, I think there was a sense of relief, actually, in your frankness. You brought up some issues that others are reluctant to bring up.
Always. All the religious groups are against me because I'm talking about population. They want more souls. I want less on the planet.
And they laughing about it. Let me run that back.
Always.
Less souls on the planet.
So in the session we just attended here at the Economic Forum, I think there was a sense of relief, actually, in your frankness. You brought up some issues that others are reluctant to bring up.
Always. All the religious groups are against me because I'm talking about population. They want more souls. I want less on the planet.
At what point do we stop and say enough? How many times does the World Economic Forum have to declare their sinister intentions before the world stops and listens? It's now out in the open. Pets will be banned in the 15-minute cities they've envisioned for our future. Should we really be surprised? After all, prisoners aren't allowed pets today, so why would they be permitted in the elite's open-air prisons of the near future?
The 15-minute city model is a carefully engineered system of control. On the surface, it sounds convenient, keeping everything you need within a 15-minute walk. But if you look deeper, it's not about convenience. It's about restriction. Think of it as an open-air prison. In these cities, movement will be tightly controlled. Residents will live in designated zones, monitored constantly. Travel between these zones will be restricted, and every action, every interaction will be tracked. The idea is to minimize.
Yeah, and that's what we showed in one of those last videos, where they had the checkpoint set up. You have to be scanned at every single checkpoint. Okay, so you might be going about. You might have let's say you did a crime and you got away with it, and then you going through a checkpoint or two. You get to this third checkpoint, and by the time you got to this next checkpoint, whatever to your destination, the system them rolled through that you're a criminal and you should be apprehended or whatever, and you go try to biometrically scan through this checkpoint, and you can't get through, and you're like, what the hell is going on? So you might try it a few times before you decide to turn back, which you're going to eventually hit the last checkpoint that you went to, and then you're not going to be able to get through that checkpoint. And so what happened is you're locked in. It's sort of like back in the ancient times where you had castles, all right, where you had some castles. I forget exactly what the chamber is called, but you would have, and they showed you in movies before, okay, where you go in and there's just a room, and you'll notice there will be holes in the wall or in the ceiling. Those are called murder holes, okay, where you can have archers that can shoot down a man's army, or those particular soldiers. I won't say a whole army, but those particular soldiers that are locked in between the actual opening of the castle gate and the entrance into the city or whatever the case may be. And so they're locked into this hole, right, into this corridor, and they can't attack their enemy because their enemy are behind walls with bow and arrows through these murder holes and just shoot them down. Okay, now I'm not saying they're gonna just shoot you down in 50 minutes. I'm just giving that for an example, how they lock you in and there's nowhere to go. Okay, and that's what happens, or what they want to have. Well, I mean, it's in China, so that's possibly happen. I don't know, but I was just giving that example. Okay, you want to go back, you got to go back to the other checkpoint and realize you can't go through this checkpoint at all, and you don't know what's going on, and then some troops, cops, whatever, come up and say, hey, buddy, you got to come with us. And you're like, what the heck? Okay. And you're caught because you can't run anywhere because your biometrics worked against you. Okay. Well, your biometrics were supposed to scan and let you through this place and that place and get you things and so on and so forth. It actually worked against you if you want it, because you have to biometrically scan to pass certain places. And if you can't do that, all you have to do, well, actually you have to do it because you can't do anything, but all they have to do is come to where you are. And they're going to know because of surveillance, all right, and being able to track you. So all they have to do is just come to where you are and pick you up. There's nowhere for you to run, all right? Criminals are not going to exist to that level. But there's going to be people out there who are against the system. But anyways, let me just continue on.
Access, which includes pets. They are going to ban them completely. Why pets? Pets are more than just animals. They are companions, sources of comfort. They make people feel human, connected. And that's exactly why they're being targeted. This isn't about the environment.
And that's true, because when you look at these men, especially these pet ladies, these cat ladies, these dog ladies, them that sent them in the house for 12 years with no men, all right? With animals all over the house. They got all kinds of cats and dogs and stuff like that, all right? This old cat lady, dog lady, okay? Hey, you take the animal, even some that actually deal with men, man. You know, the dog try to swipe at your pants leg, like what the hell? And you kick the dog, instead of getting mad at the dog for trying to bite you in the leg, she get mad at you, right? You've seen it before. People that value the life of a pet more than the life of a human being. That's reality, man. So imagine these people that live home with nothing but pets, man. They're gonna go into an emotional breakdown.
Environment or carbon footprint. It's about breaking the human spirit. You have to understand, the goal here is total control. When you strip people of the things that make them feel free, things that bring joy and ease loneliness, you break them and make them compliant. That's...
Hey, you see? That's the pressure, you see? You see? That's part of that pressure. And the main points of pressure are always your food and your currency. But these are other minor pressure points that they can push on people, because they're going to hit people at every nook and cranny. Save for the elect, because we don't care. We just trust the Lord, man. We don't care about all this stuff, man. And this life is not life. I guarantee you that. Okay? Well, that's what we always talk about, the pressure, man. These things are going to damn near force people into Esau's arms, man. Some people are going to do it willingly. Some people are going to do it unwillingly, but they're still going to do it. And then those that don't want to do it at all, well, you know what's going to happen. They may be taken away, where maybe they can get their minds changed. And I don't mean that in an easy way. You know what I mean? Or they may just be completely done away with. And you also know what I mean when I say that. All right. So let's keep going here. Pretty much
companionship, small freedoms, they have no place in the 15-minute city vision. It's all about molding a society where everything, down to the bonds we form, is under the elite's thumb. This isn't a future of choice, it's one of control, and pets are only the beginning. The ultimate aim is to create a society where people feel powerless to resist, where even the simplest pleasures are removed until nothing is left but obedience.
George Orwell warned us that the future would look like a boot stomping on the human face endlessly.
So,
if we want something different, something better, we have to rise and act now. If I
would have known. Hold on now. Hold on, man.
This video far and wide and join the People's Voice Locals community.
So I guess that was it. We're gonna doing that though. All right, so that was the end of that video, man. Like I said, I really didn't want to go into it, but you know, hey, as always, there's some interesting points in most of these videos. And I didn't watch all of it, so some of that at the end there, not the squirrel song, but some of the other things at the end, the whistleblower and all that stuff, I didn't watch the whole entire thing. I watched a little bit right there with that point where Yuval was talking. Okay, so and there was other portion I also skipped over, which those two people crying about the euthanization of that squirrel and that raccoon. But and that's the craziness of these Edomites, man. which I don't know if they're Edomites or not. I'm just giving the, you know, but they have these freaking wild, you know, nigga be in the house with an orangutan. All right, where you get an orangutan from? Like the orangutan and rip the woman's face off and stuff like that. Okay, what you doing, orangutan? Why you got a monkey? Why you got raccoons and squirrels and stuff? Okay, why you got pigs? Those are not real pets, man. That's what cats and dogs and for, you know. I mean, you can even say fish too. All right, fish should be free in the ocean, but I mean, I had a fish tank. But you get my point though. What I'm saying here. All right, those are not real pets, man. They got the wildest things. The nigga want to keep a tarantula. All right, a whole thing of worms or a colony of ants. Like those ain't real pets, man. But that's E for you, man. Just the weirdest creature on this planet. Okay. But anyways, I'm not gonna say any more about this video. That was it. Lord willing, you edify to next time. I'm gonna say shalom.